Hello, I'm Joe.
I'm Patti.
We're here to talk to you. Are we talking to you? We're talking to everybody.
This is Joe and Patti Have Complaints.
That's what this is. And
Because, my God, do we ever.
we do have a few complaints. So we're going to take a few of our complaints and record them, and you're going to listen to them, and you're going to be like, God damn.
These people have something. They're right.
I agreed with everything they said. Holy shit. I'm going to tell everyone I know that they need to listen to these people complain about shit.
Because they know their stuff. What would you like to talk about first, Joe?
Let's talk about who we are.
And who are we?
What makes us qualified to talk about any of the shit that we're going to talk about? What's your background in movies?
I worked as an assistant manager at Blockbuster.
Holy shit!
For 5 years? Good God, how long was I there? Till the motherfucker closed. That's how long I was there. After that, I worked at another video rental place. I was in as an extra a handful of films, five or six.
Did some extra work?
Did some extra work. Got to meet a handful of celebrities.
Who? What celebrities?
Oh, that's name dropping.
It's name drop. Who cares?
Oh.
I'll name drop later when I talk about what I do.
Thomas Jane, Justin Long, Michael Cera. Who the hell else?
Cuba?
Oh yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. We had a whole conversation, me and him. Sam Rockwell.
Aren't there any ladies?
Juliette Lewis. Yeah, I just talked to her. She was pretty cool. And I have seen a lot of movies.
We've both seen a lot of movies.
In 2016, I know I watched over 1,000 because I had that.
You did the movie challenge.
The movie challenge, yeah. What about you, sir?
I have worked, and I'm currently working in a movie theater, and have since 2002, which I love thinking about. It's fun to think about. Wow. I've had one job my entire adult life.
Well, at 2 different employers.
2 different places, I guess.
Technically 3 employers because...
That's right. I started working in February of 2002 at a multiplex. We should just say we live in Traverse City, Michigan.
Oh, well, near it, yeah.
Near Traverse City, Michigan. And I worked at a movie theater, which is no longer there. It's gone. For 8 years. And then I worked in another movie theater, currently at the State Theater, downtown Traverse City, which is run by an Academy Award-winning filmmaker. You figure it out. Look it up.
Just Google it for yourself.
It's not hard. And I'm the head projectionist, and have been for, again, 7 years. So now, between the two of us, that's almost 20 years. Plus, I was the type of nerd that saved his movie ticket stubs.
Dude, so was I, man.
My scrapbook. They're probably in here somewhere.
I might still have them.
We should note that we're recording in our closet right now.
Why you gotta give away secrets?
Because it's the best acoustics.
Maybe it sounds really good. Maybe it sounds like we're really professional
and
not in our walk-in closet.
Have we even mentioned that we're married?
We have not. We've been married for almost 3 years. Together since
7.
Right, since 2010. We've known each other for over a decade.
Yeah.
But you wanted nothing to do with it.
Here and there.
Yeah.
No, I don't want anything to do with you. Gross.
Girls are gross.
Girls are gross. So
yeah, that's us.
So, do you want me to name drop?
Sure.
I have met, I don't even think they're as good as celebrities as you. I've been in the presence of them. I've never actually met many. I've met Robert Wuhl.
You just met...
I'll get to it. I met Robert Wuhl, and it was really funny because it was during a comedy festival that we also do at the theater from time to time. But he was there doing a show. I was doing setup for him, and I was running all over the place, and I just looked like a sweaty asshole. And he was on stage, and I finally was like, "Hi, I'm Joe. I'm a tech guy." And he's like, "Great, nice to meet you." I shook his hand, and then as soon as I left, I could totally see him like taking out hand sanitizer, cleaning his hand, because I look gross.
You looked like the stereotype of tech guys.
Yeah, like a gross tech guy that's like, ew, with me fucking peeing. I'm Robert Wuhl. I was in Good Morning Vietnam.
I'm TV's Arliss.
I'm TV's Arliss. Motherfucker. So yeah, I met him. Oh, I met Kevin Clash. He's the voice of Elmo for
until 2012.
20 years.
Yeah, it was 90s.
He's the only one I have like a picture of with. I met Leonard Maltin, film critic Leonard Maltin, prestigious film critic.
What about Jeff?
And I've never met Jeff. I've never actually talked to Jeff Garlin.
I have met Jeff Garlin. He is delightful.
You have an amazing story about Jeff Garlin.
Which one? There was the same day.
The same. Tell him.
So, 1 year at the festival, year 3.
The Traverse City Film.
Traverse City Film Festival was either the 3rd year or the 4th year. I can't remember.
It was in front of Borat.
Yeah.
Would have been the 2nd.
No.
2006.
Holy cow! So yeah, I guess 2006, the 2nd film festival. I wasn't volunteering that day, or I had volunteered that morning. I had tickets to shows that day. Now, I had an afternoon ticket to I Want Someone to Eat Cheese With, which is Jeff Garlin's movie. It's funny, it's cute, I haven't seen it since, it's kind of easily forgettable, but it was really cute, and it was funny. And the showing after that was Borat. And it was technically the first showing. It hadn't even had its premiere yet, which was at the Toronto Film Festival.
Right.
But Larry Charles is a board member of the festival. He's here all the time. He's crazy. Crazy cool dude.
He looks like a homeless man wandering around town.
But he's delightful.
Right.
But so he got Borat to show, and my God, it was completely sold out, like beyond sold out. And
this is before there was even a balcony in that theater.
Right, there was no balcony. So it was what, 400 seats?
Some, yeah.
But full, packed. And laughter's so contagious. When there's that many people around you, you have to laugh. So everyone's laughing. My face hurts, my guts hurt. Movie ends. Lights come up. Then we realize that in the row behind us, Jeff Garlin and his wife, and Malcolm McDowell and
Matthew Modine
were also sitting behind us, which is funny that we didn't even know they were there at the time. So we walk out, and people are sort of the way it is at the State Theater. The movie ends. People always hang out in the lobby and talk, visit, talk about the movie, whatever. So that's happening. Well, Jeff Garlin is just standing in the lobby. And so I walk over, and my friend is with me, and we ask if we can get a picture, and he obliges. He's very nice. And his face is beet red. You can tell he was laughing the entire time. And I said, oh man, we caught your movie before this. It's real funny. And he said, look, my movie is a piece of shit compared to what we just watched. So that's my Jeff Garlin story.
It's a good Jeff Garlin story.
I also met Madonna.
You met Madonna?
I thought,
like, straight up met Madonna.
Well,
you were in her. I
was in her presence. I handed her microphone for the Q&A.
And she spit in your face.
No, she was actually really nice. She was apologetic that the studio that was putting out the movie that she was there for, she's narrated it, and I believe she was also a producer. They had sent a makeup artist to make sure her makeup was perfect anytime she was in front of other people. Like, she had already had her makeup done, and then we were backstage in the wings waiting for her to go up on stage and do her Q&A with Michael. And the makeup artist just comes running in, wait, and like is powdering her face. And she, like, Madonna looked at me and rolled my eyes and kind of like shrugged, like there's nothing I can do about that. But then I handed her microphone.
Said,
I didn't say anything to her. I just handed. You don't speak to Madonna.
I just said Vogue.
I loved you in Dick Tracy.
I loved you in the stuff you're in that wasn't terrible.
Dick Tracy? Well, that's debatable, I guess.
Which was what? I hated you in Evita. So anyway.
So that's us.
So that's us. We're movie people. Jesus Christ, you should see our living room.
There's a lot of movies.
It's an ode to the shit that we love and have collected over the years.
Including some movie tickets.
Including movie tickets. We're still doing it. So, that's us. And we complain about stuff. Movies mostly. A lot of movies. The thing is, though, like, the last year, 2017, I think we saw a few movies in the theater, but that's just because there were movies that came to the theater that we were going to show. So that's how we got to watch them. But we went to the theater once last year.
Paid for the theater once.
Paid.
And twice.
We didn't even pay that. We didn't. That was a gift card.
Is that what that one was?
Yeah. We won our friend had a baby shower, and they did a raffle, and we won a movie and dinner and a movie pass to the theater. And we went and watched Logan. And that was it.
And, I mean, we rented a bunch of stuff that had come out in theaters in 2017. Right. But still, though, Logan was my favorite movie last year.
Logan.
And I don't think that's because we saw it at the theater. I think it's just because...
Because it was.
Because, my God, it's so good. And I know I looked around while I was totally not crying. And I saw grown men in that theater crying.
And it wasn't me. Was I one of them? I don't think I was crying.
You looked like you were fighting it back.
I was
like your eyes were glossy.
It's like, oh, she's turning it to make it look like an X.
Shh. No spoilers.
Spoilers.
We'll do spoilers if the movie is at least 2 years old.
2 years. So Logan's in fair
off
game.
limit.
It's off limits. So, but we saw Guardians 2, Pirates 5.
Ugh.
Remember that one?
No.
Coco.
Coco.
I saw Blade Runner 2049.
Why?
I had to.
Last Jedi.
So Last Jedi, Thor, Ragnarok, and
that movie was good too.
Is that it?
That might have been it. I don't even remember.
I also saw War for the Planet of the Apes, but again, that's just because we got it at the theater. So yeah, my job sometimes requires me to stay and preview movies that Patti doesn't want to watch or can't really come see because of the kid.
Right, because you're previewing them at like midnight or something, and
whatever, or 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I have to also work. So, but she watches a lot of stuff that I don't hear at home that she then tells me about.
Well, like what?
Well, last year you said like the 1,000 movies you watched last year.
In 2016.
Yeah.
Oh man, I watched some straight up trash too.
So yeah, you did a movie challenge in 2016.
I did.
Where you had to watch 1,000 movies in category.
I believe there was only 800 in some categories.
Oh right, you only had to go up to like a certain number.
And this challenge is from one of the subreddits I'm in that's for DVD collectors, and one of the moderators, he got someone to donate Amazon gift cards. And so he thought he would do a contest. And he had done this before in 2014, but I only made it about 140 movies in, and I just gave up. I lost track because I had a job at the time, couldn't do it.
Right.
Well.
And then in 2016, what happened?
Well, I gave birth. But before I gave birth, I mean, I was already in the challenge.
You were going to do it, yeah.
And I had figured in order to do it, and he has these categories that, you can't repeat a movie. Like it can only be used for one category. So like if you watch The Matrix, you could either use it for Keanu Reeves or for a sci-fi movie or whatever.
Or a very specific category, like something crawls out of a man's belly button.
There were a couple really
weird
specific
categories, yeah. But you...
Well, so I did the math, and I said, well, if I wanted to get through every single category, that was my first goal. It was like, do every category. It was like 845. It was like a completely random number. I had to watch 3 movies a day, every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And if you didn't, the next day would be 4.
So 2016 started. I was pregnant, but working. It was technically a part-time job, but I was working 40 hours a week.
Right.
I was hitting OT almost every week.
This is the best part-time job ever.
But I was still finding time to get home by about 6 o'clock and put some movies in, you know. Then I gave birth, and we were, you know, I had you home for a few weeks. You had your paternity leave.
Yeah.
And I was on my maternity leave.
Yeah.
And we definitely blew through a bunch of movies.
Got a lot of movies out of the way.
Including, and I will say this, if you've just given birth, do not watch Eraserhead. I mean, we watched that the day after we got home from the hospital.
And that is like such a fucking funny thing to admit, that you watched Eraserhead while you're like literally holding your newborn child in your arms.
Bad idea.
Very bad idea. I do not recommend it.
I will say,
we only did this because I'd never seen it. I had been around it before, but I'd never seen Eraserhead.
But if you've had a newborn, not a great time to watch Eraserhead, whether you've seen it or not.
Yeah.
And I will say this also, before I gave birth, while I was pregnant, I watched Rosemary's Baby. I also don't recommend that because it makes you super paranoid about all the horrible things your body is doing. And then you start to think that maybe your child is the Antichrist. And I did, for a while, call her Damien.
It's true. She was kicking. Do you think, like, I did that to you? Like, I drugged you? And I brought a cult in and let the devil rape you?
God, I hope not. That's messed up. Clearly not. Clearly you did.
I think we'd live in a better house.
Anyway, so I did this challenge.
The challenge.
And I had also set a goal for myself to have it be more movies that I hadn't seen than I had.
Right.
And I did succeed in that. It was about 60-40, 60 that I hadn't seen before. But in doing that, trying to find, like, there was one that was like for Malcolm McDowell. And so part of it was I would search on one of our many streaming platforms we have. We have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have Amazon. And I would search the actor's name. So I had to do Malcolm McDowell, and I watched this horrible movie. I think it was called Asylum. It also has Robert Patrick in it. It is horrible. Like,
what was, I think, I remember, because you watched most of these when I was at work, so I would come home and get the news of what you watched and how shitty they were. But the one that I was home to see, and I'm so glad, was Dracula 3000. Holy fucking shit.
Oh, God.
And you remember, that was because it had to have 3000 in the title. And then, literally, like 2 weeks after you watched it, Netflix added Mr. 3000.
Right.
Which would have been so much better.
And that happened quite a bit during this challenge because I wanted to watch 10 Things I Hate About You for something. Netflix didn't have it. The library was out. And we ended up borrowing it from the theater, I think, to watch it.
Yeah.
And literally, like, the day after I watched it, Netflix added it.
It happened a lot. Like, they kind of screwed you over. Where it's like they made you watch something that you didn't want to watch. But then later, it's like, oh, this would have fit way better for this category. Or not better, but it wouldn't have been as painful to watch. But it was funny. And you ended up claiming the top spot.
Which was a $500.
$500. And you did it in, was it November? You finished the contest in like November.
No, it was...
You watched all 800 movies.
Technically, right. I had finished all the categories by November.
Then you just kept going.
But I was like, well, gosh, this is such a random number. I should at least see if I can get to 900, make it even.
Right.
And I did pretty quickly because I became a stay-at-home parent.
Right.
So whenever she slept, which that first year, that's like all she did. It was awesome. I would watch movies. And so then for like the entire month of December, I just got to watch whatever I wanted.
Right.
And I did, and then I tacked on another 100 movies, got to 1,000. It was fantastic.
Done. 1,000 movies. Write a book about it. Do you still have the list of all the pictures?
It's on the Tumblr account.
It should say that you need to prove that you watch these movies. You need to take a picture of the opening
and the credits
when they start
with a timestamp.
So you got to show your watch or a phone or something.
Except with the exception,
and it was really fun when we did this when we saw a movie in the theater.
Well, that's what I was going to say. With the exception of seeing it in the theater, you have to take a picture of the movie ticket and I think a picture of the screen while the credits are rolling, because if the credits are rolling, they figure you're okay.
Right. So that was your movie challenge.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I also should apologize. I can hear that we both sound a little bit raspy. We've just come off having
say today's the first day I feel like 100% maybe.
You don't sound 100%.
Oh, I sound a lot better than I did.
I'm about 75, I'd say.
The last week. Like a little bit after Christmas. No, New Year's.
It was right after New Year's.
After New Year's, we, all of us came down with just, I don't know what the fuck.
Awful. Nose
running, eyes leaking, sore throat.
Coughing.
Terrible. We're better now, though.
Mostly.
Okay.
So should we complain a little?
Let's complain a little. We've chosen...
I mean, we've talked about what complaints we're going to make, but I would like to make the first complaint.
Can make a complaint. What is it?
I want to know why the A-Team movie wasn't more successful, why more people don't like it.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, it's perfectly cast. My God. It's brilliant.
So let's so the A-Team movie came out in June of 2010. It starred, at the time, three people who in the previous year, 2009, had just been in the three most successful films. You had Liam Neeson in Taken, Bradley Cooper in Hangover, and Charlton Copley? Charlton? Sorry.
Charlton.
If you ever hear this, sorry.
He's never going to hear
this. But big fans. But if he was in District 9. So you got those three people playing Hannibal, Face, and Murdoch, and then Rampage.
And he's perfect as B.A.
As B.A., who was played by Mr. T, who was never a great actor, so it doesn't matter. But then you have him in this movie, which I paid to see, because I didn't work at a theater for 7 months at one point, and it was that time, and I paid to see the A-Team twice, because it was so good. It was fun. That's what I enjoyed the most about it.
It also should be noted that you bought it on Blu-ray before owning a Blu-ray player.
The first movie I ever bought on Blu-ray, and I didn't even own a player yet, because I knew I would.
And it was worth it.
It was totally worth it.
We watch it all the time.
We watched it. That's where this argument comes from, because we watched it a couple days ago. And it's infuriating that movies sometimes that you love
don't...
no one else thinks they're that great because for whatever reason.
Right. But this one, it's mind-boggling to me, because not only do you have a perfect cast for these characters that you know, but then you have it's directed by Joe Carnahan, who is great at directing action. Right.
This movie, most action movies, I think there is one car chase in this film, and it's at the beginning, where they're chasing B.A., I think. It's still during the 20-minute opening credits, and they're chasing B.A. into the warehouse where he gets his van.
Right.
And there's it's 10 seconds. That's the only car chase in an action movie. Every other action scene in this movie is so original
and well thought out and
fun,
well choreographed.
And the tank scene is so amazing. If you've never seen, it's called Real Science.
Real Movie Science.
Real Movie Science. I have it bookmarked somewhere, but it is a YouTube web series that talks about. It's like MythBusters, but they do it with actual numbers, math and science, to see if a scene in a movie is even plausible. and they did the tank scene from the A-Team movie. And they came up with the fact that it is 100% plausible due to the fact that the people who made the scene made it that way.
And I mean that the tank is flyable in the way that they've made it in the movie.
Like everything they did in the movie is 100% plausible according to math.
that the fall rate of the weight of that specific tank with 4 bodies in it,
with one parachute,
is
displacing the water that they fall into.
It's absolutely plausible.
It was absolutely plausible, and they were like blown away by it.
That something so outlandish could actually be true.
Insane. Yeah. And that just makes it better.
And the other thing is that, I've never been a huge fan of Jessica Biel.
Me neither.
as he and I have discussed with the movie, what is it, Stealth?
Stealth.
Ugh.
Jesus
part
Christ.
of it is that movie sucks.
The movie's not great, but it's like, I'm gonna sound like an asshole, but find me one person in the Air Force that looks like Jessica Biel, and she's the top-rated pilot, top-rated enough to fly these secret stealth missions. That's fucking bullshit.
Anyway, backtracking.
I don't know. I've never really thought she was great,
but
she was good in Rules of Engagement, where she played a whore.
Rules of Attraction. Rules of Engagement.
That's that Samuel Jackson movie, isn't it? She was in that? It was Samuel Jackson and her, right?
Totally.
Who the fuck else was it? Guy Pearce.
Anyway.
I don't even fucking remember that movie.
but she's really good.
She's good in this.
As, what's her name? Sosa.
Yes. Sammy. It's his daughter, right?
S-A-M-I.
Yes.
Yes, that sounds right.
So this is a plot line that was deleted. Sammy Sosa's daughter.
But anyway, A-Team. Like
A-Team,
it's good, it's funny, it's well written. Bradley Cooper is mostly naked in the scene with the
everyone in it is just so fucking charismatic. And it's so fun. Like
even what's his name? Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson,
who's always a dick.
Right, he's always a dick, but he's good at it.
Well, not in Watchmen, he was pretty good in that.
But yeah, 2010, the A-Team. It's infuriating that it didn't even get good reviews.
Right.
It was 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a splat, and it's just Rotten Tomatoes has been ruining movies for a long time. And I think the movie was marketed well. I remember the trailers and commercials for it making it look like it was an amazing action film.
Right.
A summer action film. And
right, you can't even blame it on it came out at the wrong time of year, because sometimes that happens too.
It does.
You'll get a sleeper in January that's fantastic, but that's not the case here.
No, it came out when it was supposed to come out in the summer, and it had, I found this out later, it had the same release date as Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I mean, years and years ago.
No, the same, yes. Years and years ago. Raiders of the Lost Ark came out the same weekend in 1981. But it was just perfect. And then it just tanked.
Right.
For no reason. No reason at all other than you didn't want to go see an A-Team movie. For
some fucking reason.
For some fucking reason. You just,
who doesn't like the A-Team?
Who doesn't like the A-Team, you jerks?
Ba, ba, ba. It also should, I don't know if it should or should not be noted that we frequently do randomly.
Yeah.
Each, separately of each other, break out into the A-Team theme.
As is our want, as adults. So, that's a rant about the A-Team.
It's
I think if you go back and look at that summer, I think the next week, Toy Story 3 came out. So it kind of got steamrolled. Toy Story 3 and this was the reason I saw the A-Team twice. The weekend I didn't see Toy Story 3 in the theater, but the same weekend Toy Story 3 came out, a movie called Jonah Hex came out.
Ugh.
And I watched that movie, and it was so fucking terrible. I had to wash it out of my mouth and watch the A-Team again. And I did. But it was funny, because when I watched it again, the next week, it was already in a smaller theater. So that was very strange. But I remember everyone in the theater was enjoying it. They were clearly enjoying it.
And I just...
It was very strange.
It makes no sense to me. It's got... It's mind-boggling.
It's just...
And this is something... I'm doing my own personal challenge this year where, you know, we have, what did I figure up, like 300 Blu-rays.
Right.
And some of which are still shrink-wrapped. Like, because, you know, you find them in a $5 bin, you're like, oh man, both Grindhouse movies for $5, I better fucking buy this. That's a good deal.
Eventually. Yeah, right.
Well, so my goal this year is I've been watching every Blu-ray we own in alphabetical order by, like, the barcode. So, like, when I get to our Bond 25 collection, or Bond 50 collection, I have to watch all those.
We have...
No, 23, Skyfall.
We got Skyfall. So the only one we don't have is Spectre. But you have to watch 23 James Bond movies.
In a row, because even though they're not alphabetical, the case is a B. So I have to... But in any case...
Have fucking fun watching Moonraker.
I won't.
Have fun doing something else while Moonraker's playing.
But so the A-Team was my second movie that I watched, because before that it was 2012.
We own 2012, shut up.
You know what? I'm coming back around on that movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's for a disaster movie.
It's a disaster movie. It is exactly what it should be.
Like, if you look at it against, like, Towering Inferno and the original Poseidon Adventure.
Right. And it's melodrama, and then a bunch of shit blows up.
Right. It's like, here's all these people, oh, dead.
And it blows up good.
And here's that one, dead.
And if you've hated Los Angeles ever in your life, watch that movie. It's pretty cathartic. You just get sucked into the ocean.
And a short part, but a really good part for Woody Harrelson. Sort of fits him as a person.
Right. As like some weird hippie.
Conspiracy nut
hippie.
Lives in a camper.
Eats pickles. That was a weird... It's like he has jars and jars of pickles.
Wanna buy a pickle?
So yeah, you got a lot of movies to watch.
Whatever. I'll get there. We watched some Back to the Future.
We did.
Right before this.
We're still in the B. This is the last B. No, we've got some. We got a few more. Right,
Bond?
You just said Bond, but then what's after Bond?
I don't know. I don't have my phone in
Is
here.
it Battleship? We own Battleship. Shut up.
That's gross. It's so bad.
It's not good, but it's not terrible.
Babe.
It is terrible. I don't know. It's one of those movies that just has certain things that I like about it.
Strategic F-word editing?
Does it?
The Mahalo mother, and then she shoots the... fucking...
Oh, yeah, Rihanna's in it. Because of Rihanna.
The only good thing about that movie is that, what's his name? Peter Berg directed it, got actual vets, wounded warriors, and then the guys...
At the end,
the old guys.
Right.
That's, in my opinion...
And AC/DC. All over it. AC/DC made Maximum Overdrive watchable.
I have no comment on that.
Alright. So, now, let's talk about... So we ranted about the A-Team and how no one liked it but us. Literally just us. There's probably... It's out there that says one person bought the Blu-ray.
It was us.
It was me. At Best Buy. So now we were going to talk about movies that one of us likes and the other one does not.
And probably a lot of the population.
Probably most of the population, because some things you just can't get behind. And we have arguments sometimes about, like, I have movies I like. I don't know why, but I do. And I own some of them, and you're going to have to watch a few of them this year.
Yeah. Because we own them.
Because we own them. Because, again, I like them, you don't. You own movies I don't like.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so you go first.
So you want to talk about, like, Showgirls?
Yeah.
Like, Showgirls is is
I have
sweet.
seen Showgirls once in my life, and it was with you. I've been in its presence many times, but it was only when it was ever on VH1.
Oh, so the horrible like
Yeah,
Microsoft Paint edit.
yeah, for the bras, it was just terrible. And that's it. That's the only time I've ever really been around it. I think I may have caught it, like part of it, on Showtime late night back in the day, but I was still like, this is fucking what? And then finally, you bought it because we found it somewhere for $10.
Right, it was inexpensive.
It was very inexpensive. It's the fucking
the like glitter
edition.
It's some stupid
You
edition.
open the case and fucking glitter falls out all over you.
It's just like you've been at a strip
It's
club.
just exactly what you think it is. And we
watched
it. And I had known of its legend, its legacy, both. And I know it was written by Joe Esterhaus, who is just the biggest fucking sleazeball. He writes just the worst movies. And directed by Paul Verhoeven, who has done some good stuff.
Basic Instincts.
He really tried to polish a turd with this one. But I mean, the dude made RoboCop. He made the movie called RoboCop good.
Right. So
it's fair to say he'll make a movie about Las Vegas Showgirls good too, right?
Sure.
No. It was literally like you hear the term, I want to take a shower after watching that. And Jesus Christ.
No.
Okay.
Not that bad.
What is your positives?
Okay. First of all, you have to look at it like, well, this was going to be Elizabeth Berkley's shot.
Right.
She was breaking out of the good girl mold. She looks pretty good naked in this. Her dancing is atrocious. I mean, it's bad. But I can't explain it, why I like it, other than my, clock theory or whatever.
Right.
Which is every movie, like let's say you got a clock, hand at the top. Every movie starts at 12, right? As you're watching it, it might stay at 12, more likely it starts to dip down. Some movies, if they're really bad, it's a 6. That's it. It ends at a 6. It's the worst. Needles all the way at the bottom. Some movies are so bad so quickly, the hand of that clock, it swings so fast, it goes right past the 6, goes right back to 12. It's a small list. It's like Troll 2, Miami Connection.
Roadhouse.
No, Roadhouse is just good.
Roadhouse is just a masterpiece.
The Room, I would say, is definitely one of those. But that's how I gauge it. It's just one of those, like, it's so bad, it's, like amazing.
Like, was this on purpose? Did you purposely make it this fucking terrible?
Yes.
And trashy?
Also...
Because is this what it's like? Like, everything in Las Vegas is just fucking terrible?
Like, everything's gross.
Everything's gross, and all these everyone is just gonna fucking take advantage of you at every corner. Don't even try to be a good person. You gotta be a fucking terrible human being to make it in Vegas. Oh, you want to be a dancer? Fucking show me your tits.
Right.
Pinch your nipples.
Rub them with ice cubes.
With ice cubes.
That's what he makes.
What did that look like on VH1? I don't think I ever saw that part.
I think they would cut that part.
That wasn't even on TV.
They would cut that part of the audition.
My biggest, one of the things I'd love to do at the theater is to show Showgirls, but to show like a shitty VHS taped off of VH1 copy
of the television edit.
The television edit of the movie without telling anyone.
But they would know right away because...
Well, the quality would be terrible.
I just mean like right away because like there would be no swearing.
Right.
And the swearing is like from jump, The thing that I think is fascinating is, how did the studio plan on marketing this? Because it's NC-17 and it is a hard NC-17.
It is. Well, that was part of it. It was like an NC-17 because it was like a brand new rating.
And we do own, this is one of 3 NC-17 movies we own.
Right. What are the other 2?
We own A Dirty Shame and...
What's the other one?
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I know a few of them are unrated. I don't know of any other NC-17s.
I feel like we have another NC-17
There's one in there
movie.
somewhere.
But like, how do you pitch that? Like, what's the audience for an NC-17 movie about
the same people that like Basic Instinct?
Yeah, but Basic Instinct is a murder mystery. It's a cop movie.
It's like a Hitchcock type of thing.
Yeah.
And Showgirls was like, well, at the time there were all these movies that were like adult themed thrillers, like Basic Instinct and Sliver, and what's that shitty Madonna movie with Willem Dafoe?
Yeah.
Where he pours wax all over her.
I don't know the name of that movie, but I remember
Body of Evidence.
Bound?
Bound was after.
But it was around the same
But
time.
there were like the whole like Cinemax late night movie experience just like started going out into the theaters and getting all glossed over. Like these shitty Shannon Tweed movies are now like starring Sharon Stone, and they're in theaters being directed.
The Red Shoe Diaries
by Paul Verhoeven.
And that's the other thing.
And
Showgirls, I mean, it has people you know, like
a few.
Elizabeth Berkley,
Kyle MacLachlan,
who should be known. Kyle MacLachlan was on Twin Peaks, which had. When did Fire Walk with Me come out? 94. Right, so not too far.
92.
Still sort of recognizable.
Right.
I mean, he was in The Doors. And
Dune?
Dune? Yeah, fuck yeah, Dune.
Fucking Dune, man.
Gina Gershon is in it. The dude from Goonies, whose name I never remember.
The dude from Goonies.
The bad guy.
Robert Davi.
Yeah, he's her boss.
Right, he's the dude
at the strip club.
Oh, also, wow, terrible human being that runs a strip club. What?
He turned out to be not bad, though.
Did he?
Yeah, kind of. He came to congratulate her.
Oh, right.
But it's just, I think it's because it's so horribly acted.
Yeah.
And, like,
it's kind of like,
what is Nomi's problem? Like, this girl offers to help her, and she's like slamming the fries around.
I remember the beginning. The girl is like trying to help her, and she's being a complete bitch to her. It's like,
pukes.
I bought you food, and she's just like, first of all, like spraying ketchup all over the fries, and then stabbing them with a fork,
and then she throws them everywhere.
Look, I'm sorry,
like a grateful bitch. And then that girl says, "Come live with me in my trailer."
Right. Because she has a trailer. Oh, but then, that girl gets raped at the end of the movie. Because
Nomi beats the shit out of the dude that orchestrated that.
Such a terrible.
It's horrible.
Like,
Everything.
What's the silver lining here? What are we supposed to, like, be happy about? That she... And then in the end, it's like, she's going to go to Los Angeles, clearly, because they, like, show you the road sign.
Right.
Like, Los Angeles.
I think that was supposed to be the sequel.
200 miles, and then it's like, I'm going to go to Los Angeles. Like, wow, I bet you're going to go to Los Angeles and still be a terrible person.
Well, and part of it, too, is it's like, what are you going to do out there? Like, they discovered you weren't who you said you were
and first
right
of all,
away.
Who fucking cares? Like, wait a minute, you were lying to us this whole time? Yeah. So?
But I think it was supposed to be that she wasn't old enough, because like he talked about her police record that she started being a prostitute at like 14.
She did some shady stuff apparently, but so
it's Vegas.
It's Vegas. You're naked on a stage. What does it matter?
Right.
What the fuck was the name of the show? Even
Goddess.
All I could think about was like the terrible musical that Tony was going to be in, or it was in, and Staying Alive. Tony. How the fuck was his name? What was John Travolta's name? Call in.
This is the pre-taped call-in show.
The pre-taped call-in show.
If you wanted to talk about Showgirls,
you can call it. Just call in now.
You should be calling in now, because next week we're going to be talking about something else.
We're going to be talking about something else. So, that's Showgirls for you.
I don't understand why you don't like it.
What the fuck happened to Elizabeth Berkley?
She just
kind of like...
She's done... She did...
She was like standing in the back of the theater opening night of the movie and just kind of like shuffled back,
slunk out in shame,
and then just kind of walked away, and she's gone.
No, like
I do remember though.
She's done cameos and stuff. She did an episode of Law and Order: Criminal Intent.
She came back for like Saved by the Bell, Honeymoon, Married in Vegas. She shows up at the very end to be in the
I'm
wedding.
pretty sure when Jimmy Fallon did the Saved by the Bell reunion, I think she came back for that.
Was Kelly the only one that didn't?
Tiffany Thiessen has better shit to do.
Like what? What do any of them have to do?
She was on that fucking USA show or whatever forever.
What?
Suits?
Look, what made you Saved by the Bell? Get your ass in gear and do the reunion on Jimmy Fallon, you bitch. I'm sorry.
Is she the one that backed out? I thought it was Lark Borges.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't keep up with any. I
don't watch Fallon.
I don't watch Fallon.
We don't actually have TV.
We don't actually care about Jimmy Fallon or anything like late night related. I'll watch, I don't know, what? Clips every now and then, but never of like interviews because I don't care. I don't care either Hawking. Movie probably sucks anyway.
Unless it's Paul Rudd on Conan.
Or Shia LaBeouf telling a whiskey story on Jimmy Kimmel, which is fascinating. Okay.
So
my turn.
What movie do you want to talk about that I don't like?
I would love to talk about the 1994 movie starring Charlie Sheen called Terminal Velocity.
Hey, I don't hate that movie.
But you don't like it.
It's not my favorite. It's kind of dumb.
It is. But it's a dumb action movie.
Is it even an action? I wouldn't even consider
it's an action movie. This movie I remember seeing in the theater. God, I might have seen it by myself. But 94, I was like 13.
Which makes sense that a 13-year-old boy would like it.
Makes total sense. Maybe 14.
Was he wearing assless chaps at the beginning?
It was a fake butt.
Oh, okay.
Because you see that later.
Sure.
And it's one of those movies that you just, like, I'll see it. Like, I saw it then, and I loved it. I was one of those, like, you would go rent the movie as soon as it came out, and I would watch it for, like, 3 times in the day that you could have it before you had to take it back. It's like, I better watch this one more time before we take it back. And then it was like, I never owned it, but it was one of those movies that, like, I don't know, I always liked, and would catch on TV every now and then, you know, like, oh, look, it's on TNT. Because this is the type of shit TNT would play.
Absolutely.
And then...
when they weren't playing Shawshank Redemption.
Exactly. It's like either Terminal Velocity or Shawshank Redemption. Am I right? You fucking never heard of this movie. Don't lie. Anyone out there listening. And then finally, about... This was when we were living in that shitty apartment, so like 6 years ago. I saw it was coming out on Blu-ray. It was the first time on Blu-ray, and it was one of those Blu-rays that has absolutely nothing on it but the movie.
Sure.
But I bought it, and I took it to the theater, because this is one of the perks of my job. I can watch a movie in the theater whenever I want.
As long as
it's, you know...
no one's there.
No one's there. It's after business hours. And plus, I do that also to, like make sure everything in the theater is working properly, because I'm never always like in the theater. But I watched it in the theater, and I watched it for like the first time in maybe 20 years, and it was just like the first time I watched it all over again.
Sure, you felt giddy.
I don't know. I was
like
just
a 13-year-old boy.
I'm 13-year-old boy again. What? But then it was just like one of those. It's kind of like Die Hard 2. Like, you watch it at least once a year, and you may realize that, yes, this movie is dumb, but also it's still enjoyable.
Okay.
Like, it's never, like, so far out of your mind that you forget about it, and then you come back to it and watch it again, and you're like, this movie's fucking dumb. What did I ever see in this?
See, I think... for me, is that it reminds me of Charlie Sheen's character in Hot Shots, which I did see in the theater.
Right.
I don't know why it reminds me of that, but it does.
Right.
Because it seems like he's parodying.
It does seem like he's playing. What the fuck is his name? Topper Harley.
Yeah. But did this movie come out before or after Point Break? Because it's got a lot of that.
After.
Yeah, it
came out after. It's got skydiving.
It's clearly like, oh my god, this movie's super popular. Let's make an extreme sport movie.
Extreme, like skydiving and basically just skydiving.
It's all skydiving. There's some gunfire.
There's some gunfights and Nastasha Kinski, and let's not forget one Mr. James Gandolfini.
Rest in peace,
who
sir.
plays a Russian or something.
Like and a Russian spy?
Christopher.
Sure.
His name's Mr. Shooter McGavin. Christopher McDonald.
Yeah.
Plays one of the best bad guys in history. He's got like bleach blonde hair, and he's just overacting the shit out of every scene he's in. He is Shooter McGavin. Shooter McGavin's brother in this movie.
Right.
But yeah, it's just one of those movies. It's like, I don't know. I watched it when I was young, really liked it, and then I watched it again as an adult, and I was like, oh, this still has some good qualities.
It has.
But luckily, it's in the tease. You're not going to watch it for like 6 months.
It'll be months.
Months from now. We'll get back to this conversation.
I mean, it is what it is. It's clearly like kind of a ripoff of riding the like wake of Point Break.
Point Break.
And it's pretty obvious.
Right.
The Gandolfini death is totally fantastic. I will say.
The whole action scene at the end where the car falls out of the plane is so well done. Like, it has no right to be as well done as it is in a movie like this.
Sure. The
music and everything. It's like, and it's at a time when there wasn't any CGI, or if there wasn't enough to afford it.
Right.
So they literally dropped car after car after car out of this plane to get these shots,
and had people
falling
next to
with the plane. It's like, that's fucking impressive that they did all this for this fucking Charlie Sheen movie.
Right.
Where, do you think he even remembers making it?
No. Probably not.
Well, I remember the movie, and I liked it.
And we own it.
And I own it. It was $6.
And I feel like it's so unfortunate. This is we could do an entire hour on this next complaint.
Yeah.
That movie is on Blu-ray.
Oh, yes.
But not.
We have this major complaint. There's a major complaint that we have every time we see a shitty movie on Blu-ray, which is, well, now that there's like Ultra HD, this looks like that's the top format now. But if you know anything about like resolution, there's not that much fucking difference. Plus, you need to buy a whole other TV to actually use it. But anyway, I recently found that the movie Laser Blast is on Blu-ray with commentary, making of. Laser Blast is this fucking god-awful 1978 drive-in flick.
If you're a Mystery Science Theater fan,
yes,
you've seen it.
You know what Laser Blast is.
It is definitely a top 10 MST episode.
Terrible. That movie is on Blu-ray. But you know what isn't on Blu-ray?
A personal favorite of both of us is Real Genius. And I don't understand why. Val Kilmer's not super busy.
No. Real Genius is not available on Blu-ray. If you go to Amazon and look it up, it's not actually a Blu-ray.
It's a burned disc.
It's burned. Look at all the reviews for it. Everyone calls it out. It's like, this is bullshit.
And it doesn't even need to be with extras. Just like a higher resolution than the DVD. We also own it on Laserdisc. The Laserdisc is slightly better picture quality.
Yeah. It's the same thing. And like between DVD and Laserdisc, like that's it. That's as high as it goes. It's not on any better format. And it's so infuriating to us when we see like the Gun and Betty Lou's handbag on Blu-ray.
For some reason.
For what? Why? Commando. Suburban Commando.
Ugh. But not Real Genius. And it's like, some of these people would probably come back for a commentary. Right. Is William Atherton still alive? Is he dead? I don't know.
I want to say yes.
William
Atherton.
What's his name? Uncle Rico. Not Uncle Rico.
Johnny.
Anyways,
Uncle Rico.
he's still alive. Val Kilmer could do it.
Val Kilmer's
The dude that played Mitch
Gabe Jarrett.
is still in things.
Little Gaby Jarrett.
I mean, he's a grown man now.
He's a grown-ass man. We just saw him in Apollo 13. And you were like...
Hey, it's Mitch. And I had never noticed it.
Mitch from Real Genius. But yeah, Real Genius. Anytime you see a movie that you literally haven't thought about in 30 years, however old you are, realize that movie's on Blu-ray now. Probably.
But not Real Genius. Jinx. Like, it's
upsetting.
It's very upsetting.
It's not fair. Because it's such a good movie.
And we know that we're not the only people
that
really
love
this movie.
If you're our age, you probably watched it on HBO.
Right. It was
many times.
All the times. And maybe you've seen it. Listen, maybe you've seen it and you don't remember what we're talking about.
Right.
But you remember the end scene with like the giant Jiffy Pop exploding out of the house. Right. I guarantee you, you have seen this movie.
You have seen it. You know what we're talking about. Even if you don't, you know it. And
it was what? Val Kilmer's like second movie.
After Top Secret.
Right.
It was like his second film. And so yeah, start a petition.
What do we got to do, guys?
Let's suck some dicks, everybody.
I mean, I don't feel like we're asking like that much.
Asking for the moon and the stars here.
I mean, shit. We have a copy of Sleepaway Camp with like it was like beautifully re-rendered,
restored 4K nonsense
on Blu-ray. It's like collector's edition.
We would have been happy with like a widescreen VHS, but y'all went with 4K rescan. For Sleepaway Camp?
For Sleepaway Camp? Anyway.
Yeah, so it's a gripe.
Major complaint.
It's absurd. So yeah, when we watch Real Genius, we'll pop on downstairs to the Laserdisc player.
Which we did do.
Which we do, and we have done.
I mean, that's the way we watch The Abyss, because...
Oh yeah, The Abyss isn't even on Blu-ray. The fuck? Stop making Avatar for 5 fucking seconds and approve a Blu-ray copy of The Abyss.
Walk away from your goddamn Smurf movie. Buy back the rights to Terminator. Bury it.
He already did.
Good. Bury it.
He did, and he's making another one.
Well, at least it's James Cameron.
So even he betrayed us.
And then call somebody up and be like, yo, I'm Jim Cameron. I'm doing what I do. I want this on Blu-ray.
Could you remaster this movie on Blu-ray for me? Thanks.
Because...
Bye.
Bye.
Call me when it's done. I'll be raising the bar somewhere.
James Cameron, the bye turned him into like a 14-year-old girl.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
James
Call
Cameron,
me when it's done, bitch.
Call me when it's done. Fucking peasant. You suck dick. You will.
Find me, Cameron.
Find me, Cameron. Anyway,
we're
going off topic.
We're losing it now.
What do you want to gripe about now? Do you have any more complaints? Do you want to hear about the time I had dinner with Mark Ruffalo?
No more name dropping.
What are you excited for coming up? Do you know of anything coming up?
Other than our child's second birthday.
I'm so out of the loop when it comes to
you're talking about movies? Oh, shit.
Yeah. What the fuck do you think I'm talking about? Who cares about our kid's birthday? No one cares about that.
Ah, shit. What year is it? 2018?
We are the dawn of 2018.
Okay.
What movies are coming out?
Next month, Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Fucking...
Okay.
Black fucking Panther.
Do we know of any movies that aren't comic book movies that are coming out this year? Because we know there's Black Panther, Avengers.
Aquaman is this year?
Aquaman? That's in like December.
It's still this year. Although, you know me, I'm more Marvel than I am DC, and I'm certainly...
Did you know they made a Justice League movie?
God, you said that to me today, and I still don't... Other than hearing that horrible Beatles cover on the radio...
Oh, it's so bad.
There is no reminders of that. To me.
Right. again, saw one movie in the theater. Justice League was not one of them.
It was not.
And will it ever be? I don't know. It'll be the same way I watched Batman vs Superman. I rented it.
And you watched the director's cut.
I watched the director's cut in the theater, and it was okay. It was really long. And it was like, just fucking get to it. Stop trying to explain why they are going to fight. And just
stop jacking off and give me the money shot.
It's right. Like, I don't think they fight until like 20 minutes into the movie, or like 2 hours into the movie. 2 hours into a 3-hour movie is when they first, like, their fight. And it's like 10 minutes. It's such a blue ball movie.
I have to just take your word for it.
Because you never saw it.
Because I didn't watch it. Because we did see Man of Steel.
We did.
In the theater. And I really didn't like it. I didn't like it while I was watching it. We walked out. I told you I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I told you all my problems with it in the car.
Yeah.
And I feel like the further away from that moment we get, you've come to agree with me on a lot of those points.
I came to kind of agree with you the second time I watched it. Like,
right.
Man, this is such a studio movie.
Right.
Because it's like, there's so much product placement. There's so much like if you've ever heard the Kevin Smith story.
I was just thinking about this.
About how he was going to write a Superman movie and how different they wanted to make it, just for the sake of making it different.
Right.
How...
not because it fits the story or the character.
They just want it to be a different...
Right.
Because if you're gonna make another Superman origin story, you have to do it differently. Otherwise, we've fucking seen this before. Which
I feel like Sony finally learned with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
By letting Marvel have some input.
Someone else do it.
Like, skip the origin story, everybody fucking knows it already.
Like, you did this. We've done this. We did this 3 times. Can we not do this again?
But I just
realized I saw another movie this year, which I'd totally forgotten about until now. Transformers
5.
5? Last night. The Transformers The Last Night.
Written by no one.
By no one. If you've watched 30 Rock. I completely forgot about that movie because it sucked.
No, we watched something else at the drive-in. What was it? Oh, no, it was Pirates 5.
It was Pirates 5.
God damn.
We saw Pirates 5 and Transformers 5. Wasn't there another 5 this year? I know there was Fast and the Furious
8?
8. Fate of the Furious.
Sure.
Still haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen anything past like 5.
Fuck. There was a lot of sequels. Wasn't there like... Well, they redid Saw?
Sure, Jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
Didn't see it.
And then Bonesaw. Which is going to be about Randy Savage's character from Spider-Man.
Bonesaw is ready!
Bonesaw is ready! I would pay to see that. CGI Macho Man Randy Savage.
And how he saved us from
the apocalypse. The fuck?
We should probably wrap up.
Have we entertained you? Are you still listening?
Are you still there? Hello?
Are you still there?
Did you fall asleep?
With your hand down your pants? You perv?
I knew it.
So we're going to do... How often are we going to do this?
I was hoping like 2 a month.
2? Unless something real juicy happens.
Right, unless we think of like something...
If we have a conversation in the car.
Oh, which we do. My God, we just had... I tried to get us to stop talking while we were watching Back to the Future 2, and we couldn't.
We went on a tangent.
We went on a whole thing about the different possibilities of the alternate timeline in Back to the Future 2, but that's neither there nor here.
Right. The whole Back to the Future trilogy, actually.
Yeah.
And whatnots. Maybe that's another... Maybe that's our next one.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe another time.
That'll be the next one. We'll give you our Back to the Future theories, appreciations.
Both.
Keep listening. Keep up. Look for posts.
If you liked it.
If you like this sort of thing.
Tell a friend.
Tell 2 friends.
They'll tell 2 friends.
They'll tell 6 friends. If you have any friends.
Cut to Joe and Patti get rich.
Yeah. And sell out.
Hard.
Because that's what we want to do. Closing remarks?
No. I'm pretty complained out for right now. I'm sure by the time we hit the bed and lay down to fall asleep to Trailer Park Boys, I will have more complaints.
Yeah. Okay. So we got our studio set up. Hopefully we'll just keep going. Just keep on keeping on. Maybe we'll have some guests eventually. Get more people involved.
We do. I mean, it's a small room, but I think we could handle.
We can handle a couple more people.
We've got a couple other microphones.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So right on. This has been Joe and Patty Have Complaints.
Thanks for listening.